Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and I'd like to show you a new plugin, except for it's not quite a new plugin because it is a new version of one of my older plugins. It's called Gatelope. Now what this thing is a kind of gate, but it's also a kind of envelope follower. And you can use it for a variety of things. You can use it for normal gate things, but the person who initially gave me the idea for it, a fellow named Ola Sunmark, wanted to have a gate where he could put a low-pass filter onto a mic and put this gate on tom recordings so that the toms would not have lots of cymbals bleeding into them. And I'll show you what it sounds like now. This is the raw signal. And then if we turn on Gatelope on the kick and snare, you can hear that it's cleaned up. That's because I've got the bass sustain turned to a very small amount. If you turn the bass sustain up, it stretches for longer. And like what Ola was doing is turning down the treble sustain so that it's rolling off the highs. Now you're not really hearing that so much here, but we could turn it on the cymbals, and now you can hear it. Now if you have that on toms, it's going to roll off the highs on the tom microphones and let the lows continue to go through. But I found a lot more interesting things to do with it than that. We're going to put our hats back for a moment. The reason I have gotten back into this plugin is because I had a change I wanted to make. The original version had where this attack speed control was, it had a look-ahead control. And for that reason, Gatelope, the first version, which is available if you buy the new Gatelope, you can have older versions of my plugins because that's just how I roll. The original version had the look-ahead control, and for that reason it ran latency. The look-ahead went from 0 look-ahead to lots of look-ahead, and that just triggered the thing somewhat in advance. Sometimes that worked out real good, but there are things you can do with this that pushed it to the limit, such as you can exaggerate the drums extremely. And we do have this dry-wet control, so I can use this to sort of punch up the body of the drums and leave the basic part of it there. But we can also push it to full wet, and we start to get artifacts and things. I can exaggerate the artifacts even. Pushing it right over here, exaggerating it ridiculously. These are also sounds we can use for different contexts, like EDM or something. You can take anything and turn it into anything else. And this is a good plugin for that. This new version with the attack speed control doesn't run latency. I think that actually it starts off with the attack speed at 0, but you don't want that. I may throw in a little last minute bug fix to change that before I put it out. Now here are some of the things you can do with the exaggerated type sound. We can take the bass sustain away and leave only the treble sustain. But the attack speed starts to play a role here. I've got this set up in such a way that I'm getting the fastest possible attack, and this is the kind of attack where you can get a click on the attack if you make it too sharp. I'll do it as follows. Now listen to where the drum and snare sit in relation to those hats. can slow down the attack of the thing so that the thing that you've got the gate on will hit a little slower. And this is another way of adjusting where something sits in the beat. That's a little softened. What I can do now is lower the threshold a little bit to make it be slightly fuller. And maybe lower the treble sustain, which will cause the decay of the sound to get a little more dull. Tighten it up a little more. And then lastly, what I can do is fool around with the hat version. Maybe not leave it, I'll have both of it. If you have both of the sustains balancing out, then it will tend to converge to a middle state. And then I can use the attack speed on the hats to adjust the way they kind of hit. That slows down the attack speed so much that I'll have to drop the threshold. And that softens the attack of the hats a little bit because the attack speed is affecting it. Gatelope2 is another $50 airwindows audio unit plugin. It is Mac only because I'm making audio units and those are what I support. Anybody who already owns Gatelope gets Gatelope2 for free because that's just how I do this. It's one of the side effects of concentrating on the audio units and not having a million different kinds of plugins everywhere is I can do better support, customer support for things like that. And hopefully this will be of interest to people. It's been a while since this plugin has come through. I have improved the signal flow of it so that the insides are running on 80-bit floating point. Or the basic value that you're working with is 80-bit floating point, and it is noise shaped to the 32-bit bus. And that's just the stuff that I've been doing in the last couple of years. Years? I've been doing that for a little while. Recent plugins have that. But Gatelope2 now runs no latency, and it has that attack speed to play with. So what I encourage you to do is grab the demo and play with it. And if you like it, buy it, and you'll have updates for it pretty much forever after. And I hope you enjoy Gatelope2. It was fun getting back into it and taking it up a couple of notches. Talk to you later.